Hello, my beautiful people. I am a very sick girl. So, I had tons of parties last week. They were fabulous. But icky people and all their gerbs. I got whatever they were giving out. And so I've been pretty sick. But Winter Solstice season starts tomorrow on the 20th. And I didn't want to leave all my friends high and dry without some kind of preparation for Winter Solstice, Yule, whatever you call it. I wanted to make sure that I did a quick video. I am going to be pausing to cough, and I cough a lot, so this video might be a little bit more disjointed than it usually is, but hopefully it'll be chaotic and fun as always. So I'll be right back because I'm going to go cough. So in the Druidic tradition, Winter Solstice, Yule, is called Alban Arthan. And so I'm going to be talking about ways that you can honor Winter Solstice, Yule, Alban Arthan. These are also Christmas things. And then in Scotland, Hogmanay is actually the bigger holiday, bigger than Christmas, because Christmas had been banned for 400 years. So that's New Year. So this is just going to be about the Winter Solstice period in Alban Arthan. So, something really key to know about this Alban Arthan is that it actually takes place over 2 days. And if you've watched the videos, you know that Celtic festivals actually last quite a few days, like 7 to 12 days. But Alban Arthan, or the solstice, actually happens over the 21st and the 22nd, depending on where you live. So even though I live in Pennsylvania, right, our longest night, right, we're going to celebrate the solstice on the morning of the 22nd. And in other parts of the world, they're going to celebrate that longest night on the 22nd into the 23rd. So, you know, there's all kinds of videos and there's all kinds of nonsense about, well, if you don't get your wishes in and you don't get your intentions in on at the right part of the time, it's all horseshit. Don't listen to any of that. Your intentions are your intentions no matter when you make them, right? And they're all whispers to God, so don't worry about it. But if you are in the East, if you're in the United States, you're actually going to celebrate the solstice, the light that comes through Stonehenge, right? And through those stones, that is actually going to come in on the morning of the 22nd. So, for whatever that's worth, that's what you need to know for the astronomy of it all. And that's because this year is a leap year. So, what are some things that you can do? Well, we always do fire. There's always a fire going on when we talk about the Eightfold Wheel and the festivals. This is a really great time to just let go of all the things, the energy of this passing year. The winter time is a time for us to, come inside and, organize our house, our insides, and organize our thoughts and our feelings. So it's a great time to journal. It's a great time to do writing. If you have a break, I'm very lucky because as an academic, I have off between Christmas and New Year and Hogmanay. So I have a little bit more time to do some writing and reflection than I would normally have if I worked a regular job that didn't afford me that time off. So it's really a time of really planting the seeds, really rooting deep what it is you want to grow in the spring, right? And some of what we need to grow, we have to till that soil, and we have to clear out all the deadwood of the past years. So this is a perfect time to do that. And there are different ways you can write down things that you regret or sins or whatever you call them on slips of paper, and you can burn them. You can do that on Hogmanay as well. You can light candles on your ancestral altar. You can do intention spells if that's what you're into, or rituals for intention as you set forth the new the new year, because really the light is going to start coming back, right? So this is the longest night, and now we'll see a little bit more sun each day as the earth turns. So you can plant some deep enriched ideas that might that you want to come to fruition, that you intend to come to a fruition in spring. And so let's take a rune reading and see what the Winter Solstice, Alban Arthan, has in store for all of us. This may not resonate with me. It may not resonate with you. Take what's meant for you and leave what's not meant for you for someone else. So we'll ask Spirit to guide our thoughts. We'll do a traditional Celtic cross. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? All right, what is our present energy? Oh, I have to take my stones out. So we have our green man. We have our Iona stone. We have our other Iona stone, which is here. And we have our Icelandic stone, which is here. All right. What is our present energy heading into Alban Arthan? It popped right into my hand. Othala, which is inheritance. And what brings us to Othala? Inguz. And what forces can we not control? Humanity. What forces can we control? Tiwaz. And remember, runes don't predict the future, but what direction are we headed in? What's a potential outcome? All right, let me take a hot minute to look at these stones, think them over, and see what the message from Spirit is. I will be right back. This is probably one of my most favorite readings I've ever done, especially going into Alban Arthan. So this whole reading is about your ancestral seat and the growth that you're seeing within you, and the new year, and sort of the winter focus is on how to rely on your intuition, rely on your ancestral roots to lead you and to lead everybody to a new dawn, right? So, the stones, our center position is Othala, which is inheritance and ancestors. And I'm just going to read just the different words so that you can hear what they are. So for Othala, it symbolizes ancestry, possessions, heritage, experience, and value, right? So your ancestors. And then the stone that leads up to it, which looks a little bit different in different rune sets depending on what you're using. This one is in this, and it's spelled differently too, depending on what you're using, is Inguz, and represents a seed. So something grew in you, right? Like your ancestors planted a seed in you. That's why you're doing the work that you're doing. That's why you're here, right? You're not, maybe you're curious. Maybe you just fell on this video, but, you're interested in this sort of thing. And it symbolizes goals, growth, change, common sense, and the home or the hearth, right? So, you're meant to be here. This is the path. This is your path. And in the Druidic understanding of the world, we look at paths and the paths that we're on. And then the things that you can't help, things like forces that you cannot control. This is, my eyesight is so bad. I'm going to make sure. This is Ehwaz. And Ehwaz represents a birch tree. No, it doesn't. It represents a horse. What the heck? That's Burkana. Ehwaz represents a horse. So travel, movement, progress, trust, and change. You are not going to be able you're not going to be able to influence the changes that need to happen, right? And the changes that are going to happen around you. Things are going to happen, right? And you're going to have to rely on your leadership. That is what you can control. You can't control change. Change is the only constant, right? So Tiwaz is all about leadership, and that's it represents the god Tyr, and symbolizes masculinity, justice, leadership, logic, and battle. And that's in the position of things you can control. So you can control how all of this information gets shared, and how your approach is, if you rely on your ancestors. And a possible outcome, and this is one of my favorite stones, probably next to Gibo, is Dagaz, which represents dawn. And it symbolizes awakening, certainty, illumination, completion, and hope. So, we have an opportunity to share light and love. And this work that we do during this down period, in our planting of our seeds, getting our little seed cups ready for the spring, this is a really great work to do. And to think about what your message is going to be. What is your goal going to be when it comes springtime? How will you share light and love with the world? What is it what is your plan going to be? Right? Is it going to be just to be nice, to be more patient, to be kind? And I think, we have to do shadow work over this break, when we're separated from the world. We have to kind of look at, what sort of limits us from sharing light and love, and then have a plan, make a plan to plant the seeds so that we can share light and love when it comes springtime. What a great reading. So let's look at some cards. See what else Spirit has to say to us. What a great reading. That's so awesome. So you have to shuffle 3 times. I'm working with Shadows of Light first. These are all oracle cards. If you're new to the channel. These are all tools. None of them are meant to replace prayer or meditation or communing with your higher self, whatever it is you're into. All right, 3 passes and see if Spirit has anything else to share with us. And we're asking about what we should focus on during the Alban Arthan period. Pass 2. Sometimes cards don't come out. That's okay. That just means this deck isn't how Spirit wants to speak to us. Okay, one came out. We have the Strength card. I love this card. It's like the lion. And it says, lion heart. So you're going to have a strong heart. And isn't that true? Like, if you're bringing hope to others, you have to have a strong heart. In order to share love, your heart has to be strong. So over this period of preparation for spring, work on that strength. Build up if you have places that need building. I certainly do. So just a reminder, gentle reminder from Spirit to build up your strength, build up your heart, because it's not easy to bring hope and love and light into a world that is getting consistently darker. Now we'll ask Earth Wisdom the same thing. We'll ask Spirit if there's any messages that they want to get across to us using this deck. I've been following the Ruby Frankie case. Lots to say about it. I could do a whole video on what I have to say about it. And those are people who use the name of God to justify their bad behavior. People have done that since the beginning of time. And it's heartbreaking what happened to those children. And she can blame Jody Hildebrandt, but her abuse of those children goes back before she met Jody Hildebrandt. So I think it got absolutely worse with the meeting of her, but she's been abusing those children, and online, and on Facebook, and on social media for years. And I hope justice takes place, and I really pray for all the children and the ex-husband, and all the victims there. And I pray for her, that she recognizes the pain that she's caused and the hurt that she's caused those children. It's hard to be strong in a dark world when the people who are supposed to be on the good side are just as bad as people who are on the dark side. see what else Spirit has to say to us. What should we focus on in this period of Alban Arthan? Got quite a few cards. Spirit wanted to make sure I said lots of things. Strength. We got the strength card again. You have to be strong. You have to be strong. Because you have to see the bigger picture, right? You have to be able to keep it all together. Boundaries. We all have boundaries, right? You know, and you have to be strong to make sure people don't cross your boundaries. Awareness. Be aware of the things that hinder you and the things that help you, and just be cautious of the tools that you use. Nurture. This is a time to nurture those seedlings, right? This is a time to really focus on what your shadow work, focus on things that maybe you aren't great at. I'm impatient, so I work all the time on my patience, and I have become more patient. I'm going to work, I think, a lot on more meditation, because I'm not so patient with meditation. And then be inspired. Right, look at that winter. Like, this is a winter card. You know, but she's still inspired. She's still looking off to something. There's greatness coming, and she's waiting for it. Just a reminder from Spirit to be strong, to stay the course. The snow is going to melt, and little seeds are going to burst out. All right, last deck is the Celtic Spirit. We'll ask the same question. And shuffle 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Any messages from Spirit from this deck? Pass 1. Pass 2. And pass 3. A lot. Huh. We got the green man and the green woman. Feminine, nature, and oneness. Nature, connection, and source. And that's like the complete picture, right? The green man and the green woman, sort of the yin and the yang, right? So as we move into this new, as we look at our seeds that we're planting, we want to make sure to look at both the masculine and the feminine, right? And we need to look at all of us, not just the parts we like, not just the parts we hate. We need to sort of take stock in the entire picture. We have the she, which is ancient knowledge, help, and dimensional. So again, relying on the ancestors' wisdom, whatever background you have, whether it's Scottish or Indigenous American or Mexican or whatever, you know, rely on your ancestors, right? Your ancestors have wisdom. They've lived this life. They see this life from above. So tap into them. Sacred waters, deep healing, emotions, and pilgrimage. So again, use this time, this solstice time, this Alban Arthan time, to really dig deep into your psyche and your soul, and clean house where you need to clean house. Recognize and forgive yourself for things that you simply can't fix. You know, if there's a person in your life that you can't forgive, just say it. I cannot forgive X because of Y. And I mean, hopefully one day you'll get to a place where you can forgive that person, and I encourage you to. But maybe you don't, and that's okay. But you know, sometimes we feel shame. We feel like we can't speak truth to wisdom, but you can, right? You can to yourself. And if you write in a journal and you're afraid somebody's going to catch it, write it out, say what you have to say, and then go and burn it. And that's fine too, because at least you're working with your shadow side. So, strength, stay the course, and the dawn is going to be beautiful. And on the winter solstice, if you're familiar with Stonehenge and other standing stones that were built with the solstices in mind, the sun shines in a specific way. Definitely look on YouTube and watch that because it's tremendous. I need to go get a drink, so I'm going to wish all of you all the very best in light and love. Be well, take care, have an amazing Alban Arthan, and I will see you soon. Be well. Bye-bye.